Hey everyone, welcome back to Bear's Workshop. And I am here with Brian from My Tesla Weekend for the next episode of Fast Charging with BnB, where I am the first B.
And I am the second B.
Yeah, that's where it's going to be. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, fouled up that introduction, didn't I?
It's different. It's always nice to have something fresh and different. So, guys, give us the 5x5s in the chat. Let us know we're sounding real nice.
Yeah, you know what happened to me right there? Somebody opened my bathroom door, and I'm sitting here on the pot, and it was like, totally took me off guard. So, but it wasn't really the bathroom door, but it was a door, and it was bad timing.
I see how that is.
Yeah.
How are you, Bear?
I'm doing good. How are you?
How's your week been? I've been good. Nothing too exciting.
Really? Nothing?
Yeah, just sitting here in front of my very real, definitely brick wall.
I know that's a real brick wall because I'm looking at it and it looks like a brick wall.
And you definitely can't see any, seams or anything from where it was folded in transit.
No, I think you ironed those out pretty good. Just like my wood paneling behind me.
Well, yours at least, now that you mention it, I do also see some creases.
Yeah. You know what? I was going to actually do the full wood panel wall. And then I was like, well, I could do this for $20 off Amazon. Let's do that.
Right?
Just seem more cost effective. But, I had another good week. I put another car on order, which we're going to talk about later. So pretty excited about that. But we're going to make everyone wait until like the 15th topic before we show off what that is. Did you freeze? Did Brian freeze? Everyone look. It looks like Brian froze. Uh-oh. Brian. He looks totally frozen to me. He's not faking it. Sometimes I think he is. Brian. Ooh, I hope he didn't lose everything. I know we're still going. Or are we? Or did I? No? The hell's going on here? Okay, no. I've got people in here. All right. Let's go check his channel and see if maybe he lost his connection or something. Oh, wait, he's back. He's back.
Am I back?
What happened? I wasn't sure if you were faking it or not.
No.
Oh, lost him again.
It gave me some trouble, but I'm back.
Wait a minute. Back. What is it? No, we lost you again.
Well, yeah.
Is it Starlink?
My Starlink looks like it's good. I don't know. OBS went down way before Discord, so I'm not sure. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm back.
Ray Elbow wants to know if you crossed the streams. Is that what happened?
That's probably it.
Okay.
I'm not a scientist, but yes, that's what it is.
All right, well, get a jacket on so you don't freeze anymore.
Right?
You see, that fixed it.
Yeah, apparently.
All right, well, we better get right into this before we lose you again.
I know. So there's this cool chart.
It is cool.
Market share. Look at that. Tesla, despite big gains in production, has lost a tiny bit of market share. But BYD coming in hot.
Yeah, they were. That is a
big gain.
Is that what BYD stands for? Big electric domination?
That's definitely the Y and the D that I was thinking of when you started that very well thought out joke. So
Mercedes is pretty impressive on there, by the way.
The what?
Mercedes.
Yes, only losing 1% is good. Now these big guys can only lose market share. Tesla at 16% market share, that's not something you can expect to maintain in the future as everybody else starts making cars too.
Yes, yes. And when I was talking about Mercedes doing good, I was talking about their volume, not their percentage that they lost.
Right.
I, I'm surprised to see that many people buying Mercedes that are electric because of the expense related to them.
Yeah.
That's way higher than I would have thought Mercedes would be. I mean, they're like literally right on the coattails of VW there.
Right. And yeah, like you said, those are expensive cars. And Sandy Monroe is tearing into one right now. I don't know if he's actually going to tear into it. I think he's just looking at it.
Yeah, that's good. That might be a looker.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know what's been missing from this? I looked through this like 6 times. I could not find it.
Well, let me take a look. Nope. I think they're all here. Ford, VW. Wait, is Ford on here? Oh, God. Ford isn't really on here either. But GM. Where's GM?
GM's not on there either.
What?
GM
Well,
did
that's
not make
weird.
the cut.
I had it on very good authority that Mary led.
My apologies to my viewers as I forgot to switch the screen. So now you guys can pause and see what the hell I was talking about since I didn't change the screens. But
So GM will start tying executive compensation to electric vehicle targets.
that's a pretty good motivation. What do you think of that? I mean, it's
I
just
think it has to be done. I think it has to be done. Otherwise, the leadership loves to talk a lot more than they love to act. And having all these models proposed is great. I'm glad the Hummer is actually on the market. I don't think the Hummer is a serious long-term contender. The Silverado we talked about last week, beautiful. I hope it succeeds, as I think it will. But they got to get serious, man.
yeah. To be honest with you, I'm a little surprised that they didn't already do this. That is kind of very surprising. There was a note in here. I'm trying to find it. It was pretty funny. It was something that Mary had said. Let's see. No one should doubt our commitment to lead in EVs or the passion our team has for that mission. Are they talking about their future commitment to lead or their past commitment to have led? Because they're not doing either one, so I'm still waiting for that.
I am waiting for it as well. Let me got a note.
Though every time I see that blue Silverado, I do get a little excited.
In 2020, Bera's compensation package was $23.7 million. Because that's what she's worth, man.
For leading the way.
$2 million a month.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I understand all of it. Her compensation package was 23.7, base salary of 2 million, stock awards of 13. That's only 15 million. What's the other 8.7 million?
Yeah. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Who knows? It
Really?
could be vested from previous years.
Maybe. Or it could just be really, really good healthcare.
But they are making big strides on the Bolt.
Oh, that page went away for me. Let's try and refresh that one. There we go. Yeah, so 62% of the 2017 to 2019 Bolts have had their battery replaced. That means, and if you look at the article, the ones that were made in 2020 and 2021, most of them have not, which is a huge disappointment. I was reading up today on the Bolt and how a lot of the Bolt owners are very severely kind of screwed over, where Chevy is not doing a buyback, at least not for the same price. They'll make an offer on your car. There was a guy on Reddit who had like 160 miles on his Bolt when they came out with the announcement, and they would not buy it back except for a lesser price. They wouldn't do anything really for him. He was in a lease, and he could no longer. I don't know if it was this guy or another guy. Another guy was saying that he was in a lease and he couldn't sell it out of the lease because they can't sell the cars, but they could sell the used ones on the lot. So, and now that they're selling them again, they're making the 2022s. They are available, and you can go buy one. But they're still they still haven't fixed all of them. So if you have a bolt that hasn't been fixed, you can't sell the car back to a dealer, but they're out there making new ones so that they can make profits again.
That's exasperating. And yeah, and if you're in a lease and you're literally bound to it and you can't get out without losing a mad stack of cash, that's just unacceptable.
Yeah, not cool. Anyway.
No. But at least with a Chevy, when you buy one, you get free miles at Electrify America, don't you?
Oh, guess what? No, you don't. Electrify America, who has been expanding vigorously, does not have a contract with GM. So if you buy a Ford, a Pulstar, a Lucid, and several other companies, you can get free time on the Electrify America network, but not with GM. GM neglected to sign on with them. They signed on with a bunch of other places, but not with one of the larger ones that's outside the Tesla supercharger network.
So Electrify America reports a 500% increase in charging in 2021 compared to the comparable time period a year earlier. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think there's been more cars on the road, but I think you have a different opinion on this.
Well, the number of cars out there has not increased 500%, but people actually have places to go. During, the heavier, earlier days of lockdown, you could not really go anywhere. You could charge at home every night, and people are actually on the road again.
Well, that is true, and I'm sure that had something to do with it. I think also there's been cars that are released, and look, take the Mach-E. There's, I don't know, they're in the, 20, 30,000, even more than that have been made since the lockdown started. So those are the type of cars you're going to see on that network that previously definitely weren't there.
That's true. The number of CCS charging vehicles on the market has really jumped. That's a good point. I think it's both.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. And remember, 500% of nothing or of one is not that big of an increase. So if there was one car charging and it went to 5, that's 500%.
Yes, but that would also be a full station versus an almost empty one.
Yes.
I think what we need is more charging and more batteries.
I agree. And in comes the government.
White House kicks off $3 billion plan to boost battery production. I'd like to see more specifics in this.
It is so vague. I think the $3.1 billion is all in kickbacks. I don't think it's going to make one battery. I think there's about $200 billion out there between all the car manufacturers and all the battery manufacturers for making battery plants. So $3 billion would represent 1.5% of what they're already putting towards us. It also doesn't say this $3.1 billion plan is over what time period, because a lot of times they're over 10 years.
Right.
Which, I mean, $300 million a year, I've got that in my suitcase right now. That's really nothing. So
I wouldn't admit that.
Why?
To the cartels. Because
where do you think I got it?
Cartel viewers watching, I wanted to give a quick shout out to you guys.
They know I've got it. It's me transporting their money.
Yeah, of course.
From the car wash.
I appreciate the direction. We got to get specifics and we got to get it moving is what's got to happen. But 300 billion, you're not wrong. If we're talking about building battery factories, that doesn't go very far.
No, it really doesn't. It's the way that these guys are.
Spend over 3 billion on a single battery factory.
Yes, that's one factory that might have. Let's see, the LG plant was like 1.5 billion with 11 gigawatt capacity. So double that. That's one 22 gigawatt factory for LG. And
it's not enough.
And honestly, my opinion of this, because I'm like less government, is why is this needed? Because we have the car manufacturers and the battery manufacturers have already committed $200 billion. What is the $3 billion supposed to do? Is this supposed to be so we can say, look what we did? It's not, it's especially with no specifics. That's why I say this is just going to kick back money. So just.
Well, I hope we're wrong. I hope we're wrong. But we shall see.
Man, we got some fighting going on here in my chat.
We do have there is salt in your comments more than mine. Who is this did point out about the batteries. However many we have, it's never enough. And for at least the next 10 years, maybe 20, that's very true. Rob says it's going to be wasted on cheap level 2 chargers. I think this $3 billion is only for battery advancement, and that there's $7 billion for the supply. I'm not sure, but we need DC fast chargers. Whatever, it is what it is, and we're not here to take sides. We're here to just tell you what's going on.
Just the facts. Just the facts.
Who needs more batteries anyway? Doesn't Tesla have their supplies lined up?
They're good. Why move on?
Amazon and Ford hit by massive losses on Rivian investment.
Oh, lost that page also. Wait a minute. Where the hell are you?
I thought that's what the next one. We're very professional here.
Holy crap. I never moved that one. Amazon and Ford hit by massive losses on Rivian investments.
Yeah. Ford reported a $3.1 billion loss for the first quarter due to its mark-to-market loss of $5.4 billion on its Rivian investment. Ford has a 12% stake. And Amazon reported a negative quarter. Wow. Rivian tanked so hard it brought Amazon entirely into the red.
That really sucks. That
really sucks.
Yeah, but weren't both those companies able to show massive increases, massive profits or not profits, but
paper gains.
Paper gains.
For the same accounting reasons.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter. So,
yeah.
In
the end, it doesn't matter.
Right. It does in a sense, but eventually maybe they'll get some of that back. But I don't think they're ever going to recoup all of that. Not at least in the stock. I don't see their stock getting back up to where it was for Rivian back when it was way too. Yeah, I don't see it for a very long time.
No, because at least for now, Rivian is just a car company, and their ambitions to go beyond that are really on hold until they can get the car manufacturing part figured out.
Yeah, like batteries, and a little bit of vertical integration might work well for them.
Yeah. Did you hear about Ford has announced their home integration system, $38.95?
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty interesting. I was looking through that, and when we had talked about the F-150 Lightning before, we had talked about the getting the extended range pack costs an additional $20,000, which we both thought was a little bit on the absurd side. But one of the things that you get with that is the Ford Charge Station Pro for $1,300, which costs $1,300. If you just have the standard range F-150, you will not get that. So there is a $1,300 value out of that $20,000 besides the value of getting the additional range. I'm wondering what else is available for that $20,000. But I like the way this looks. Being able to use your house, you're being able to back up your house with your vehicle, and you could run up to 9.6 kilowatts, which is enough for me to run one AC unit in my house at a time, plus some other things, just not two. That could keep you going for a while. So I think that's pretty good.
It could keep enough heat on to keep you from dying. It could keep enough fridge and freezers going to keep your food from spoiling. And $38.95 sounds like a lot compared to like a generator. But if you buy a generator, you're still going to have to. This is integrated. This actually intelligently goes back into the system rather than just back feeding it through the panel. But then again, you also will have to pay installation on this. But
Yeah. Well,
this isn't for everyone.
home
This is if you
generators do cost a lot more than that.
can.
No,
Well, one
home
with this
gen.
kind of output, we could.
Yeah, no, it would. They are not as inexpensive as you might think a generator is. I've got a $500 generator, but it just runs off of gas and it's loud, and it's not going to last how long you would need it to. And I've got RV generators which are quieter. They cost more. They'll cost $4,000 or $5,000 just for an RV generator, and those will be like the one I have is a 4 kilowatt generator, and that is a loud. It's not loud, but it's expensive, and it's only 4 kilowatts. This is 9.6 kilowatts. Like I said, that's enough to run at least one AC unit at a time, uh, possibly more depending on how new your AC units are, and what kind of demand that they have. So I think this is actually pretty good.
Well, I disagree because at Harbor Freight, you can get a whole pallet of generators for less than that with a 30-day warranty. Not bumper to bumper, mind you.
One
So
of
on
my
the
one of my generators is a Harbor Freight, and it is 3.5 kilowatts. It's a portable generator. It's not necessarily an RV generator, but it is quiet. It's 3.5 kilowatts, and it costs $900 new. So that's not a bad generator. The only thing I could tell you about is though it will not charge a Tesla. I plugged my Tesla into it, did not work. It wasn't clean. It wasn't clean power.
right, the voltage wasn't clean enough.
Yeah.
Um, I did get a comment from Disturbed47 saying not 38.95. That's only one piece of it. By the time you add everything you need, it's 13,000. And if you're including the installation and any upgrades you may need to do on the house side, I absolutely believe that. But this isn't for everyone. This is people know if this is something that they need, and you can still, if you're freezing in the winter, you can still plug in a heater directly to the truck or thereabouts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you could still backfeed the panel. You're just not supposed to, but everybody does.
Yeah. So
Any other Ford news?
yeah,
Or did you want to say something about that?
I was just going to say yeah, and then that you get a bonus with your Ford Lightning. It's actually going to be more powerful than they promised. It's going to have
Isn't
more.
that nice?
Yeah, that is a nice surprise. I think we're going to probably see something similar happen on the Cybertruck when they finally get all the specs, because they did put things like 500 miles plus. So I think we'll see things like this. But the range, the horsepower, that all went up. It's now at a higher level than what was originally promised. So the range went up by 20 miles, which is significant because that is what 7%, something like that.
That's one extra station away.
And it could be. It very well could be. So
Horsepower is about what, 6%, 7% more? It's great.
yeah. So it's definitely significant, and that's nice to see that they're able to get better than what they thought. So
I have had the experience that, before the F-150 came out, a lot of people said, well, we'll see what the specs are. They said, no, Ford hits their specs. The Mach-E hit their specs. I believe that their engineers know before they make announcements what's actually going to be done. That's my impression.
mm-hmm. Yes, I would concur. And if I didn't concur, I would probably sue you, because that's what we do here. But I think this is actually a legitimate lawsuit, because I think the postmaster, Dejoy, is another one of those corrupt individuals who has
Yeah.
directed the USPS not to buy the electric vehicles that they were supposed to buy. And I think that only 10% of their purchases going to be EVs, while the rest of them are going to be bought by a company that he has a vast interest in. And I mean, he has vast interest in both. It's the same company, but he seems to be able to profit more with the gas version. Did we talk about the fact that the gas and the electric are both on the same platform?
Same platform. I don't know if we talked about it on one of the shows, but it's built on the same platform. The new gasoline-powered vehicles would get 14.7 miles to the gallon without air conditioning, which is better than the old ones, but I mean, come on. Electric vehicles are perfectly suited for stop-and-go driving.
Yes, they are perfect for it. With the regenerative braking, it's something that is perfect for it.
And they don't have mail trucks are constantly starting and stopping. They have to put in heavy duty starters, and that's not good for the car. That's not good for a gasoline motor typically.
No, no. There's really something fishy going on in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Super fishy.
Yeah. But, that's lawsuits for you. Any other lawsuits noteworthy?
Yeah, the lawsuit against Elon Musk for $13 billion. I have lost that. I am not going to make...
You have lost it.
I have lost it. I had that money spent already, so this is going to be a big problem for me.
That is a problem. So some investors sued Elon personally over the acquisition of SolarCity, saying that it was an inside deal designed to bail out his brother and cousin, and the judge has disagreed. And the big takeaway here is Elon will take it all the way to court whenever possible. He doesn't like to settle out of court because it brings out the worst in the greediest people out there.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
It is a fact.
I wish people would settle with me out of court. I don't know what for.
Yeah.
But I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I was going to mention that you should just do that generally.
Oh. Wow. Hold on, guys. Let me mute him.
Mm-hmm. Jeff pointed out that the investors did too well to whine about it. And their contention is, well, we would have done even better. And the judge said, I don't think you would have. Those expertise turned out to be critical during the difficult Model 3 production hell period.
Yeah, it definitely worked out for owners of Tesla stock. And it's just people wanting to complain. There's always a group of people who are going to sue any company every time they do something. And that's why a lot of companies don't like to go public, is because of being held to that constant nonsense. And it is.
So, onward and upward. I think with that, Tesla should start expanding.
Yeah, maybe they should go to just build another one in Shanghai. They probably already got the land.
They don't have well, they may have acquired the land and we don't know about it. But in the reopening article on Reuters, we can see Tesla thanked them. The company will build a new plant on nearby land in the same area, which is poised to add an annual capacity of another 450,000 cars, including, but not limited to, Model 3 and Y. So that would be, and by the way, Giga Shanghai currently has a nameplate capacity of 450,000 plus. And by plus, they mean, as of December's run rate, it was at like 920,000.
Yeah, they delivered 484,000 last year. So, yeah, and they're only improving on that number. So,
yeah. So we should maybe have a new factory going up that I can start math tracking to get back to my roots.
Yeah, if that's really what you want to do, maybe you can count the cars in the parking lot with little white dots.
They're purple dots. It's a world of difference.
How do
Any
you
other factory news?
How do you know, like, which dots you've counted?
Oh, I do them in layers. So I'll do like a layer of, I'll do a single row, and then
Uh-huh.
I'll label that row how many's in it. Yeah. Everything
Yeah.
has a system.
You got more patience than me.
I don't do a lot of the counting ones anymore because, like, on a lot of them, I would say I spent 9 hours making this video counting cars, and then people would post it on Twitter saying, "By the way, the number's 2,612." It's like, well, okay, and they wouldn't even like credit me or anything. It's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I would do the same, but I'm not going to keep making videos if no one's watching them. Very organized, yes. So, any other factory news we should think about?
Yes. Texas Gigafactory is taking their cars out on car haulers. I know this article says that, well, it's implied that they're going out for delivery, though nobody really knows if they're actually going out to delivery or going somewhere else. It's hard to say, isn't it?
No, it is easy to say because customers have taken delivery of them. They have been spotted in the wild with customer plates.
Are you talking?
So they are being
Are
delivered.
wait? Are you talking about the ones that were delivered to the Tesla employees?
Oh, well, they're still customers. They don't get a discount.
Right.
We don't know because we just know they were spotted. We don't have confirmation from the driver or owner.
Right. We don't know if they're actually. We haven't seen someone who's not a Tesla owner. It's the same thing happened with Rivian. Rivian's like, oh, we're delivering now, we're delivering, and then we find out that all the deliveries were for employees. Right.
Yeah. Who are under strict non-disclosure agreements.
Yes. So I mean, we just need to see average Joe who ordered a Tesla get one of these cars, and I still don't know how they're delivering them to people when they don't sell those cars. There is not a standard range Model Y that gets 279 miles of range. Nobody's ordered that. So
Oh yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah.
who do you
How
sell them
could a
to?
customer take delivery if it's not on the menu?
Mm-hmm.
Good. That's good.
So
And by the way, in Berlin, we've also seen a ton of them ship out, and we know those have gone to customers because they've been sold in a number of countries.
and wrecked already.
Oh, really?
Well, I think someone who got, I'm pretty sure it was Shanghai or not, was in Berlin. One of the first 20 cars got into an accident already. It was like within the first week. It's kind of sad.
It's very fast.
You got a big boo boo.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of boo boos, what the heck fire are they doing in Oklahoma?
Not being friendly for EVs, that's for sure. Tesla owners fear proposed legislation could drive automaker out of Oklahoma. Does this affect anyone else?
Yes, it affects everybody else who is going to be a direct to consumer, which means it will affect Rivian, Lucid. We've mentioned Tesla, Pulstar. Anyone who's delivering direct to consumer is going to run into an issue with this. And did you get a chance to look at that wonderful 76-page bill?
No.
Yeah,
Did you?
I did take a glance at it. And the first 10 pages, every line reflected the dealer and how things can't be done without like the dealer's permission, consent, and things of that nature, which makes me start to wonder, are they going to, because they're saying that this has nothing to do with EVs, has nothing to do with EV manufacturers. But when you look at it, and I did not read the whole thing, I don't speak legalese, I because it's made that way so that people can't understand what they're saying. It seemed like they're all tied into, if the dealer does this, you have to do this, or you have to get written permission from the dealer. Well, I didn't say anything about what if there is no dealer. So if you put a law like this into effect, and it's supposed to protect people from having their data mined, basically. But if there's no law, if there's nothing in there saying the manufacturer's not going through a dealer, so you can't get the dealer's permission. If there's no ability to get permission from the dealer because there is no dealer, then you can't do it. Said item, whatever it is. Meaning that if they try to do an over-the-air update, it would therefore be illegal because they never got the dealership to sign off on it.
Yeah. And it's crazy. We've covered this. It keeps coming up. It keeps getting killed. And then we keep getting assurance, oh, this is dead. We're not going to do. And then it just comes back again. It's like glitter in your hair. You will find it forever.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Jeff keeps saying they've set up on tribal lands in other places, which would be a good way to go in Oklahoma. And I don't know if you've looked at the reservation map in Oklahoma. It's like half the state.
But it wouldn't matter for over-the-air updates.
That's true, too.
Because it would limit people's ability to get over-the-air updates in their driveway. Because they haven't gone through a dealer.
That's insanity. It is amazing how cheap you can buy a state legislator.
Nobody bought him.
Wait. The state one especially.
Representative Mike Dombrinsky, who was in Monsters Inc., I believe, he owns dealerships, or his brother does. So he didn't even have to get bought. He was like, look what I can make off of this.
I'm having some lag issues. I hope they don't affect us. Let's power through it.
Okay, that's your lag issues, or am I laggy?
Mine. Just mine. So Rivian to get $1.5 billion in public incentives for Georgia plant.
They got a smoking deal because I believe Texas was only going to give them like $600 million. Arizona, I think, was less than that. I'm not even sure of those numbers, but I know it wasn't in the $1 billion range. So that is quite the incentive.
Do you remember how much Tesla got in incentives to build Giga Texas?
No, I don't. How much was it?
$60 million.
$60
over
million.
10 years. So $6 million a year for 10 years if you bring in billions in investment and billions in payroll.
Okay, I think somebody screwed up in Tesla.
Maybe.
You see, I don't think that Rivian would have gotten $1.5 billion if it wasn't for Tesla and building the Gigafactory there. Just saying.
They're expected to create 8,000 jobs. Yeah. The average annual salary will be $56,000, and all employees will also receive equity in Rivian.
Which is almost worthless.
Well, which is getting it at a good price.
Yeah, it is. I'm just giving Rivian's stock price a hard time because
if this factory succeeds, that stock is worth something.
Well, is that the picture of the site plan?
It looks like it, right?
Well, the irony of that is I have something that somebody had given me once that looked very similar to that for Arizona.
Oh, oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're allowed to talk about that yet.
Never. Well.
Uh-huh. We're doing really good on time.
Yeah, we're flying through this.
We're flying through it, which is good because we've got a ton of comments to get to at the end. Have your questions ready.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Anything going on with Lucid? Ben wanted to know.
Ben wants to know? Oh, yeah, I got to refresh my screen again. I keep losing... Anything on Inside EVs, I've got to refresh. Yeah, so Peter's doing really well for himself. But this is almost like cartel money. I could probably get killed just for saying that. Because he got $260 million in performance-based awards, which is, it's Saudi money. So that's why I say it's cartel money. They're obviously not dealing drugs, but they will chop
an oil cartel.
They will chop my head off. Which, I'll get the last laugh when that happens somehow. But that payday was one of the biggest ones for an executive in 2021. 500, or it was originally worth 556 million, but with the price dropping, it kind of went down. But there was I know the Electric Viking did a video on this, complaining that they only made 400 cars. That was as of March. I can't even defend this. That was as of the beginning of the year. you know, I don't know what they got to be at 600 by now. So it's definitely not as bad. Well, we'll find out in 2 days when Lucid has their earnings report, where they're going to announce how many cars that they've actually delivered. We'll find out produced and delivered. Hoping for the best, expecting the worst, just because I haven't seen a lot come out. But I do think that's quite the package he's got there. Quite the package that young man has.
The performance-based part was based on the short-lived surge in Lucid Group's share price last year. So they made it on stock rather than like production. I'm sure it's a combination, but
Yeah,
still.
yeah, that just doesn't seem right, does it? So, wow, I'm watching on one of my security cameras that just popped up. My dogs are chasing my neighbor's chicken around my yard. So as we talk, a chicken is about to die. So
Did that other chicken get a rescue at the last minute, or?
yeah, apparently one of my chickens got himself rehomed. He jumped on my friend's RV when my friend was picking up his RV to go camping, and went to his neighborhood. And he asked me, "Did you lose a chicken?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm missing a black one." He goes, "Yeah, we've had this chicken ever since I brought the RV back. There was a black chicken running around my neighborhood." I'm like, "All right, well that's mine if you want to bring him back." And so he went to go find the chicken and found out it got rehomed to an ex Milwaukee brewer. I don't even know his name. I just got a picture with my chicken and this brewer. So I'm down to one chicken.
That's $5 you'll never get back.
$5 I'll never get back. I don't even know where that chicken was putting his eggs at. Or her eggs. Better be her.
So
All right.
electric semis. Anybody selling those yet?
Yeah, Volvo. Well, yeah. Would you say that they're selling them, or would you say that they're taking orders?
They're taking orders. I would not say that they are selling them.
Yes, they are now taking orders, but they will not be delivered until 2023. The article doesn't make complete sense to me. Only trucks are currently open for sale. The rest of the chassis, the sales release is set for the fourth quarter of 2022, with rigid versions are then not to be delivered until 2023. So I'm not sure what that means.
I think they mean only one style, maybe? Maybe they mean only the like dump truck style and not the semi version. I don't know.
Well,
Volvo,
a chassis version is just a cab with a frame behind it.
okay.
So I'm not sure. Not sure, but regardless, 2023 is what you're looking at.
And I would believe with Volvo, like I do with Ford, that when they set these targets, these are realistic. They're 1 year out. I believe that's not crazy. You know, Volvo makes electric cars too.
Yeah.
Through their Chinese division.
Yes, they do make Chinese cars. I was going to maybe text one of my kids and say, go save that chicken. Screw it. Screw it. That chicken should know better. But you were talking about Chinese Volvos?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, do you know what a Chinese Volvo is called? This is a joke. See if you can get the punchline.
What?
A Pulsar.
That's the joke?
No, it's not really. It's not really a joke. I ordered a Pulsar 2, and that is a Chinese car made by Volvo, or formerly owned by Volvo, and Geely. So Volvo, we were talking about this last week, was not taking orders anymore. They had a hold on their orders, and they have cars that are going to be built, but and you could buy them from their configurator as far as what was going to be built, but you could not and you cannot order one the way you want it. So when I found out they weren't going to be taking orders until the 2023 model, I went ahead and I purchased a long-range dual-motor Pulsar, where previously I was going to get a single-range two-wheel drive Pulstar. I figured after 2023 they will be going ahead and raising the prices. So I did not go ahead and wait, and I went ahead and I ordered this, and this is the one that I have ordered, and this is going to be in early August, they say, possibly in June. So I'm just waiting to see, because after I did this and I put the deposit down, it came back to me and said, "We'll see you in June for your delivery." So at the top it says early August. Well, what do you think about the Polestar? That's the moon color, by the way, moon.
I know you're annoyed with the price. I think the price is awfully good, considering even with sales tax and destination and everything, you're still at 58.
Yes.
I think, and you still got the federal EV tax credit.
$7,500 tax credit, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the price is right. I don't know about, I mean, the look is great. I haven't heard complaints about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's a buy.
Yeah. So I bought it. You're right. It is a buy. I bought it.
What's the range on it?
On this one's going to be about 250. If I got the single motor, it would have been 275. And the Polestar 3, which I think is pretty cool looking also, that's going to be on my list. So that is car number 6 that I have on order.
Crazy man. That is...
I'm just going to store them I'm going to store them in my garage. And in like 50 years, they're going to have 123 miles on it. And everyone's going to think that's incredibly awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be like this garage find. And I'm going to be able to sell it for $25,000.
Any Nikola news this week?
Yeah, speaking of Nikola, and no, we weren't. So Nikola got a $200 million worth of funding from convertible senior notes. If you're wondering what that means, it means that they take precedence over other loans. They can be converted into stock, into equity in the company, which would diminish the value of the rest of the stock, depending on what it is cashed in at also, because it's only $200 million worth. And they expire in 2026. So the better the stock price in 2026, the less shares that Entera Capital will get. But they also earn interest at 8 to 11%. I'm not sure. The interest rate of 8% if paid in cash, or 11% through issuance of additional notes. So this is a good deal. Everybody who's in the know, like H2 and JJ, and I say their names because I see them in the chat right now, they knew that Nikola was going to be getting more funding, and I believe that they will be getting more funding before the end of the year. So I think this is the first of more to come. It's not even the first.
Their cash burn rate is nowhere near. Their cash burn rate is nowhere near as insane as is it Rivian's?
Lucid and Rivian.
Lucid, who's just burning through cajillions.
Yeah, they're wiping their butts with $100 bills, which is, from past experience, is not a good idea.
Whereas with Nikola, we can see where the money's going.
Yeah,
you did a great two-parter, a live stream which I was able to catch, and then I did go back and watch the walkthrough video you made, where you can, I can see where the money went. It's right there, and I don't know what all these different things cost. There was a comment that came up in your video that I wanted to address. Somebody was saying, how come like the fluid tanks are not in overhead systems? And the answer is because the factory's not done. This is not the final configuration. This is the today configuration. We're not going to put everything, we're not going to bolt it to the ceiling when we're only going to make 500 before we move it.
That's exactly correct. That is not the final configuration of the line, and it's going to go through several iterations before they get to final. And when they get to final, that is when they will be putting in all the piping into the ceiling, where they press a button and they never see where it's actually being filled up at. Where is it
Right.
just
If
just
it
like
if it adds 5 minutes today, that's fine. It's when you're making 10,000 of them that 5 minutes is critical.
mm-hmm. Right.
So the line looks like I would expect it to, considering the volume.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought, anyway. And for the people still complaining about Trevor, quick reminder: the company's moved on. You're allowed to move on as well.
Yes, please do.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. If you have valid criticisms, bringing up Trevor Milton buries your criticism. It makes reasonable people believe that you don't have a valid criticism. It's like when people criticize Elon for not paying taxes. He pays taxes. If you want to criticize him for other things, do that, because when you focus on the wrong thing, reasonable people think you're crazy.
Well said, Brian. I bet
know.
I bet JJ is just beaming from ear to ear right now.
Well, we've got very few minutes left to address the chats.
Well, let's go right after Scott, who said he still owns 11% of the company. Okay. And that's great. You know why? Because when Nikola comes back to get their $150 million from him for the SEC, at least he'll be able to pay for it. All right. So, you can't make him sell it because he hasn't been convicted of anything. So once he is, maybe he'll get fined a whole bunch. And
he did create he founded it. So I do apologize, Hockey Day and others, for the freezing. I do not know what it is. It is not my connection. Next week I'll do the full reboot right before we go live to hopefully avoid this. I apologize.
So I'm going to leave my Pulstar, my future Pulstar, on the screen while we go through these comments. We did
do that too, I guess.
It just I think it looks prettier in this picture than it does in real life, though.
I haven't really seen that much of it. I'll check it out this week. Let's see. You did get a comment I saw. I don't remember on whose chat, saying that must have been one heck of a ride for the chicken, going cross town on the roof of an RV.
I've had chickens hitch rides on vehicles before. With the landscaping company, I had them get they were in the trailers, and then the crews would get to a job site and they'd call me up and go, I think I got one of your chickens here, because they'd be sitting in the trailer. And I've also had them hop into the back of trucks and then go for a ride, and the crews would have to come back. But I've also found that my chickens they'll go hide out underneath the hood, and they'll lay eggs there. And then I'll find like 16 eggs all at once, all spoiled. And so more than likely he was underneath the hood, like hanging around by the RV generator or in the battery area, and he took the ride that way. But it's not the first time that's happened. So
Rob asks, silly question, but why doesn't Tesla just call themselves a dealership? Do you know this one?
I think that a dealership has to be owned by an individual owner, like a franchise.
Yeah, a legally distinct entity. A subsidiary wouldn't cut it. And if Elon created the dealerships, that would appear to be a pretty clear conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Brian, don't count the cars being produced. I think that's what got Woo-Ah's channel, his privileges revoked. Yeah, I wasn't counting produced cars. I was counting employee cars, construction worker cars. I also counted the porta potties once.
Yeah, you did.
Done some different counts at different times. I'm considering counting the solar panels, but it's a lot of work, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I wonder if somebody could take up the issue of dealerships to the federal government, as it restricts interstate commerce. It's not a bad idea.
And I agree with anything that has to do with restricting dealerships.
Yeah. They're unpleasant. They're unpleasant.
Bills R Electric said, "Pity anyone that bought Rivian at the IPO price or higher." I bought at the IPO, and I bought a little bit higher than that, and I sold it all before it went back down. So I don't pity anyone who bought it at the IPO. I pity the people that kept it more than a couple of days. So just saying.
Hmm. Hmm. I did just want to say a quick hello to everyone. At least on my side, you can say hi to yours. Casey, Jeff, Disturbed, of course. Wendelin has popped in just to say hello. Tim, everybody. Hockey, Mark, good to see you. Yes. Hello, everybody. We have fun with these. We did I put up a poll asking, what do you guys want from the channel? And 58% say keep it live. Mind you, there is quite a selection bias in the poll since you guys are all here live. Next week's show is going to be pre-taped due to Bear having previous commitments. So we will be recording that in advance. It'll be broadcast on his channel and on my channel. But on my channel, I'll be going live with it afterwards to answer your questions. So that'll be cool. I'll be here.
Yeah, and I'll be here in spirit. Lots of spirit.
Yes, he'll be here.
Drinking spirits.
Just, yeah, but his lag time will be days.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We've got some guys talking back and forth earlier about what the next Lucid is going to be named, the third Lucid. We had Fire was one. Earth was another. Another one was Ice. What do you think? What would be a good name for the third Lucid?
I think any of those Wonder Twins sound fantastic. Let's see.
Come with a free ring or something?
Is Dream already one? Lucid Dream, they have that, right?
Well, they have the Air Dream edition. So
yeah, Lucid Dreaming. Let's see. Diamonds. Diamond.
Diamond?
Yeah, Lucid
no.
in the Sky with Diamonds. Sure, why not?
Lucid. Oh, Lucid in the. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What? That's.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
You got to give me more notice so I can only pretend that I just came up with the joke instead of actually doing it.
Yeah. I'll give your writer some time.
Right. By the way, this is super on topic. Did you know that when you hired Bob Hope to be in your film, he would show up on the first day of filming with his writers and hand you the new script? That's why all of Bob Hope's movies were so funny and always in his voice, is because he would bring an entourage of his own comedy writers.
Bob Hope was a funny guy, especially for his time.
His material has aged well, but you know, that probably says more about me than him. So Hiking Lang had a very good point. Bear is single-handedly preventing the U.S. from converting to EVs by parking most of them in his garage.
Hey. I'm going to need a bigger garage.
They're available for rent. You should go to Phoenix and rent them.
Yes, they are. I should start putting my Toro link in my description so that if anyone's ever in Phoenix and needs a vehicle, they would have some choices. So right now I'm sitting at 5 ICE vehicles versus 2 electric. But I am expecting the Pulstar, the Model S, the Mach-E, and what else? Oh, well, those 3 are definitely going to be this year. The Cybertruck, who knows? The Silverado, another who knows? And then the Lucid Air, probably early next year.
Lucid Air. Ooh. Spendy.
The cheap one, though. Oh, here's a good one for Lucid. The Lucid Fart.
Yeah, I like it.
But for real, Lucid Star, that's not that bad either.
Oh, that's not bad. I think it's that time where we should thank our Patreons, because both of us have patrons who help us keep our channels afloat, help keep us doing what we do, make it all possible. Thank you guys so much.
And thank you to my patrons. I love you guys, the ones that have stuck through and are continuing to be my patrons. I do appreciate you guys. All the viewers that are on my channel right now, Brian is still trying to get his live channel monetized. So if you could go over there and just hit that subscribe button for him, he would appreciate it. And if you want to be a patron for either one of us, check our descriptions, because that information is also in our description. And last question that I've got here, Sanju, what is opinion of Nikola before earnings? I believe that they're going to have very little amounts of income that might be based off some mobile charging station or the trailers or something else. But their big news is that they're going to be announcing more sales, probably more letters of intent, if not actual sales. I believe that they will probably announce something with the California rebates. I don't know how many. Could be a little, could be a lot. But we're going to find that out on May 5th. And I think that they're going to have a lot of good news about orders that have been sent in. And maybe they'll give us some of the information on expansion, which I already think is starting in... The build is going to start in 2 months. The track around the back of the site is going to be starting, might have started on Monday, because we saw some grading going on. So I think they're going to have a lot of positive things. We're going to see no sales of any trucks for the first quarter. Guaranteed.
I will say my expectation is that there will be no surprises, that the analysts probably have, between the analysts and what Bear just said, a pretty darn good assessment of what's going on and what to expect. And so I don't expect the stock to move in either direction based on this report.
Well, the way Nikola stock moves, it's going to move up 20 cents in the morning and go down 30 cents in the afternoon and keep going back and forth like that.
Within tolerance.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks. Don't forget to check out Bear's bunch of live streams coming up. What do you got going?
I've got the Lucid live stream tomorrow at some point. I'm going to squeeze that in. I've got a couple things going on, but we are going to make that happen tomorrow. And that's all I've got scheduled right now. I'm not going to be doing any live streaming next week. Besides fast charging, I won't be doing any live streaming of Nikola or Lucid next week because of my,
and I've got my live
condition.
Stream. And I've got my live stream coming up Friday, as I always do, at 7 p.m. Pacific. Which is kind of late, and I apologize, but hey, man, tradition. So with that said, thanks everybody for tuning in. Bear, appreciates your time, and I will see you guys, I guess, next week.
All right, and farewell from Bear's Workshop in Arizona. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys.